think, Ben, you could act more excited than that. You got one. You slayed the dragon, and now you're in a good spot. The Pittsburgh Steelers control their playoff destiny. They clinched the AFC North with a win and a Ravens loss. They clinch a playoff berth with the win, a Titans loss, and a Colts loss. They're looking good. The Patriots still control their playoff destiny, but certainly not the first-round bye. And in the AFC, the Bengals and Broncos are officially eliminated from this picture. All right, what did we learn from these Steelers and this win yesterday? I'm sure you want to give them some credit.
Of course. What I took away from this game is that the best player on the field was Jalen Samuels. You know, Tom Brady was decent. Ben Roethlisberger was decent. Antonio Brown had a big play, of course. But it was Jalen Samuels. If you're not familiar with him, NC State had over 1,000 yards, did it both as a tight end and a running back. He's NC State's leading receiver. I mean, had 75 catches last year, but it was him as a running back. I mean, this was right out the gate. They had the cutback play perfectly designed, and here he is catching out of the backfield. What he brought to the table in a season that seemed so lost. When you have Le'Veon Bell, who doesn't show up, and then who does show up, James Conner, but then he goes down. He's sitting on the sideline pregame. They say, hey, Jalen, man, you know, we got you, and you're a little bit of this, you're a little bit of that. You can catch out the backfield. You can run in between the tackles.
He averaged 6 rushing attempts per game last year at NC State.
And you look at this game, 19 rushes, 142, and 30 yards receiving. My man was everything that the Steelers needed to beat the Patriots. And I'll say this, a very bold statement. Without Jalen Samuels, the Steelers don't win this game. And without Jalen Samuels, I don't know how far they're going to go moving forward. So if I'm that Steelers offense, this is a man that you need to focus on and start to build your team around and game plan around moving forward.
What a win. What a huge, huge win for Pittsburgh. Tomlin talked after the game about the concept of toughness, and his quote was, sometimes you have to cut your eyelids off when you want to blink. Whoa. Now, that's disgusting, and it's intense, but I feel like he talks about everything they put into this game. Wow. You got to cut them off. I'm not going to blink. I'd rather cut my eyelids off. We have a very interesting relationship with the show as the Steelers. We talk about them a lot. We have a lot of their players on. They don't win the big game. So it's like we come off as negative and we come off as we're slighting them. We're not. I'm thrilled for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They win this game. And they did all the things, too, that they could have lost, and it still didn't matter. They were so much better from start to finish. They're on their last string running back. Didn't matter. Ben threw a couple of big picks. Didn't matter. Their kicker didn't have it. Didn't matter. Juju and AB completely disappeared in the second half, and it didn't matter. TJ Watt was unblockable. The defense was great. The running game was great. There is no second layer. I have no shtick. I have no joke. Pittsburgh had an awesome win last night, and they made Brady look terrible. Great night to be a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Well said.
You know, if you're in fraternity or sorority life, they had something they called Hell Week back in college. This was Hell Week for Mike Tomlin. For the first time, it was really being discussed in Pittsburgh, like, is this the guy? You know, is this the guy?
Hot seat, Shay.
Hot seat, and it was legit talk on the Pittsburgh radio. Usually they've always got their Steelers back, but now Mike Tomlin's name was being brought up as a guy who might not be there next year. You look at the Steelers' recent history with the Patriots, completely owned by their rivals. This was Mike Tomlin's biggest win of the year, and I would go as far as saying maybe Mike Tomlin's biggest game since his Super Bowl victory over the Arizona Cardinals 10 years ago. To come out there and beat the bully in your building and stop Tom Brady and outcoach Bill Belichick, which he did last night, and to finally say enough is enough. I'm going to put my foot down, and I'm going to stop all the chatter on the Pittsburgh Sports Radio about my job security. Stop all the chatter on Good Morning Football, whether Mike Tomlin can win the big one, and stop all the chatter up in New England how the Steelers are not a worthy rival opponent. What a win for Mike Tomlin. If there's a game ball, I love giving it out to Jalen Samuels. I love giving it out to players.
Yeah.
But I look at that playoff picture, and they are now a little bit more comfortable than they were because their Steelers schedule, although it's tough, the Saints are coming up, it gets a little bit more breathing room because that win was as big as it gets.
I love everything you said. I totally agree with you guys. All credit to the Steelers. Back-to-back losses for the Patriots in December. This does not really happen. There's some very uncharacteristic things happening with even Tom Brady. They lose to the Dolphins, and you can say it was on that weird last play and Gronk and all of that, but really, I look at a weird mistake Brady made that he killed himself over all week in postgame of that game, and I'm sure all week this season or this week against the Dolphins before the half, taking a sack, no timeouts, thought he had a timeout. Him not even knowing that was weird. Fast forward to this game, this interception. Nate, tell me what is he thinking on this play right here? Let's take a look at it, please. Thank you.
Yeah, well, he's
throws
flushed.
it to Joe Hayden. Come on.
He's flushed and he's throwing off his back leg, but that just goes to the Steelers' defense, putting Tom Brady in a position he's not usually in. That's throwing the ball off his back leg, basically trying to give Gronk the ability to go. I think
he's trying to throw it out of bounds.
This box score, this game, how it went down was a statement loss for the Patriots to me. I'm not saying it's a turning of the tide. I'm not saying they're not going to the AFC Championship or winning the Super Bowl, but I am saying that Santa came a little bit early this year because we have a topsy-turvy, like tumult-filled AFC playoff picture, and I love it because I feel like at this point in the year, Nate, I can't really fall in love with other AFC teams. I can't. Like, I want to like the Texans, but I'm like, yeah, but the Patriots.
Sure.
I want to like the Chargers, but yeah, the Patriots. In previous years, they've robbed me of that. I now fully feel like I can invest in other teams taking the crown from the Patriots after these last 2 weeks of play.
Yeah, it's like being in Hollywood. It's an open relationship right now, and you're taking suitors. No, for me,
I mean,
listen, about a month and a half ago, I came out and I said that this isn't going to be the Patriots year. And the Patriots fans lit me up. I'm talking Twitter, Instagram, sliding in my DMs. They were so mad at me. And it wasn't disrespect to the legacy. If you listen to me talk, I always say all the time, that's one team I wish I would have played for.
Sure, yeah.
But there's something different about this team. And not in a positive sense. They just don't have, I'm not going to say they don't have the juice. Let's just break it down to pure football. Julian Edelman hasn't recaptured the true magic of being back on the field. Gronk seems like one game he's the best tight end in the business.
When was that? When was he the best game this year?
I said one game he seem like the best tight end in the business. And then the next game he'll seem like he's falling apart. Tom Brady will go out there and light it up, and then he'll look very average. The defense is giving up points depending on who they play. So for me, this team isn't as invincible as years past. And that's the reason why I say this isn't going to be a Super Bowl run for the Patriots.
Belichick's not out coaching anybody. And last night, Josh Gordon wasn't on the final series. Philip Dorsett played 2 snaps. Brady didn't look like he was in sorts.
Sony Michel had 1 snap in the first quarter.
You're talking about gaffes as far as game management. Belichick does not look like the Belichick of old.
What was that final series?
I don't know what that was.
Shot.
It was
For the
just
record, Brady said he was trying to flick it out of bounds to Gronk, but that was not a Brady
The players
play.
could play.
All 4 of those had no shots, ever. It was ugly as hell.
They got to correct some things.
They could play on Wild Card Weekend for the first time since 2009. That is an incredible thing. Do we doubt them? No, you have a blood oath. I'm sure we'll go over.
I'll get into my blood oath. I'm really being pushed on. I'm going to bleed out. It's not pretty.
It's not good. We'll be back with more highlights.
My eyelids
guys.
off.
Week 6